In this video, we'll cover the most important intrinsic safety interview questions and answers. From intrinsic safety basics and barriers to hazardous area classification, design, installation, and commissioning, this guide is perfect for instrumentation engineers, commissioning professionals, and interview preparation. Basics of intrinsic safety. What is intrinsic safety? Intrinsic safety is a protection technique where the electrical energy available in a circuit is kept below the level that can ignite a hazardous atmosphere. Why is intrinsic safety used? Intrinsic safety prevents sparks and excessive heat that could ignite flammable gases or vapors in hazardous areas. What is the main principle of intrinsic safety? Limit voltage, current, capacitance, and inductance so that even fault conditions cannot cause ignition. What are the typical intrinsic safety standards? IEC 6007911 and NEC Class, Division or Zone Standards. Barriers and isolators. What is an intrinsic safety barrier? A device, Zener barrier or galvanic isolator, that limits energy going to the field device to safe levels. Difference between intrinsic safety barrier and intrinsic safety isolator. Zener barrier uses Zener diodes to shunt excess voltage to ground. Needs high-quality intrinsic safety ground. Galvanic isolator uses transformers optocouplers for isolation. No special ground required. Hazardous area classification. What is a hazardous area? An area where flammable gases, vapors, or dust may be present and cause explosion if ignited. What are Zone 0, Zone 1 and Zone 2? Zone 0, explosive atmosphere present continuously, greater than 1000 hours per year. Only EXIA allowed. Zone 1, atmosphere likely during normal operation, 10 to 1000 hours per year. EXIA, EXIB, EXD, EXE allowed. Zone 2, atmosphere unlikely, short duration, less than 10 hours year. EXIC, EXN, EXD, EXE allowed. Can intrinsic safety instruments be live-worked, opened when powered? Yes. Intrinsic safety equipment can be maintained live because energy levels are too low to cause ignition. Design and certification. What happens if incorrect barrier is used? Excess energy may enter hazardous area, loss of certification and explosion risk. What happens if entity parameters do not match? The loop is not intrinsically safe, risking ignition and violating certification. What are XIA, XIB, and XIC? XIA, safe with 2 faults Zone 0. XIB, safe with 1 fault Zone 1. XIC, safe under normal conditions Zone 2. Can XIA equipment be used in Zone 1 or Zone 2? Yes. Higher protection levels can be used in lower risk zones. What is the difference between intrinsic safety and explosion proof, XD? Intrinsic safety prevents ignition by limiting energy. XD contains explosion inside a flameproof enclosure. Installation and commissioning. What is the maximum cable length allowed in IS circuits? There is no fixed maximum length. The limit is determined by ensuring the cable's total capacitance and inductance do not exceed the barrier's permitted output parameters. Why is grounding important in Zener barriers? A good ground ensures excess voltage is safely diverted, otherwise, the barrier may fail. What color is typically used for intrinsic safe wiring? Blue color coding is standard for intrinsic safe cables and terminals. Is a loop-powered transmitter suitable for intrinsic safe? Yes, if paired with an IS barrier isolator and certified safe. What is a simple apparatus in intrinsic safe? A device with negligible energy storage, greater than or equal to 1.5 volt, 100 milliamps, 25 milliwatt. Example, switches, RTDs, thermocouples. How to verify an IS loop during commissioning? Check certificates, ATEX, ICX. Match entity parameters. Verify wiring segregation. Check grounding if Zener. Perform continuity and insulation tests. Conduct loop check. Additional common questions. What is the difference between ATEX and IECX certification? ATEX, European Directive for Explosive Atmospheres. IECX, International Certification Scheme. Both ensure compliance but differ in jurisdiction. Can intrinsic safety be applied to wireless devices? Yes, but only if certified. Wireless transmitters must meet intrinsic safety energy limits. What is the role of entity parameters in intrinsic safety? Entity parameters act as a safety match, ensuring barrier output stays within device limits and cable or device energy remains too low to spark. What is the advantage of IS over other protection methods? Allows live maintenance, lightweight equipment, lower installation cost compared to flame-proof enclosures. What are common mistakes during IS installation? Mixing IS and non-IS wiring in same tray. Poor grounding of Zener barriers. Ignoring cable capacitance inductance limits. Using uncertified devices in hazardous zones. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. IIQA